Sometimes we forget that wildlife is unpredictable and you need to catch the moment. Not always you have time to make the right composition. Yes, as many photographers say, staying low is useful in many situations, but not always. In this new video, I'm gonna explain why there aren't gold rules in wildlife photography, mostly about composition. And be careful on those who say otherwise, because they are lying. Before going on, let me know what you are most interested about wildlife photography, because I'm really interested of your opinion. Maybe if you like this video, please consider to give me a like, or why not, to subscribe to the channel. I'll really appreciate it. Hello everybody, glad being here with you in today's video. As a wildlife photographer, I'm always curious to know other photographers' opinion. So I often watch their YouTube videos and sometimes I'm bewildered about their statements, which they are a few absolute. Of course, I can't claim to have the truth. But after many years in the field, I understood that there are the rules set in stone. And for rules of composition, I'm pretty sure. So let's get started. As you know, in photography there are different composition rules. One of the most known is the rule of thirds, as well as golden narration or the symmetry rule. But tell me, really can you use it in birds in flight photography, or when you are chasing a running cheetah? To be honest, I'm not sure. Many photographers tell to stay low, close to the ground when you approach wildlife, and yes, it's one of my favorite ways to shoot. But I can't always use it because not always there are the right conditions to stay low. In my opinion, it's hard to use well composition rules during action wildlife photography, even though I'm not saying that it's impossible, only that it's difficult. Often you need to catch the moment and you don't have time to think about the composition. Many times I have to deal with that problem, to take or not to take the photo. In general I prefer to take, and often I discard the picture. Sometimes I'm lucky and I get good results. We have also to say that the experience is a really good input in wildlife photography. Yes, because when your eyes is trained by thousands of pictures, it arises a moment that you put the camera in the right way, automatically using some kind of composition, like the rule of thirds, because in all my cameras it showed that grid, so it's easy to see it. So what's the point? For me it's pretty straightforward. We only need to practice, so taking picture as much as possible, without worrying so much about every photography rule, but enjoying more the process and the act to take a picture, the moment to stay in nature. Anyway, I also think that some tricks can be useful for getting better and more enjoyable pictures. But remember, they are only advices, not laws. Trick number 1. Look for eyes animal. What the composition can I use? Okay, I think that in this case it's pretty straightforward, because every time you have the animal eyes in focus, the most part of the job is done. Then you have only to decide if you prefer to have the whole animal in the frame or only a part of it. For example, in this picture, the grey heron has the eye in one of the intersection grid of the rule of thirds. Instead, in the little eaglet picture, the head is one of the intersection grid of the rule of the thirds, and the bird is in the diagonal of the frame, making the picture pretty dynamic. Trick number 2. Look for some environment direction. What composition can you use? Okay, also in that case, you have many chances to get interesting results, sometimes quite weird, like the osprey doing a normal physiological function. As you can see, the osprey is in the right part of the frame, and it's watching in the opposite direction, making the picture in motion and giving the idea that it's preparing itself for something, like to fly. Trick number 3. Capture hunting moments. What composition can you use? This one I think is pretty tricky, and I think you need a dose of luck in order to get a good photo. In this picture, the owl took a jackal, and I managed to frame the owl in the one of the intersection of the rule of thirds. Furthermore, the predation is pretty explicit, and the ants gives to the image more emotion. Trick number 4. Include the environment. What composition can I use? Sometimes having a big portion of the environment where there are animals is important, because you can understand better the context in which animals live, but including the frame portion of the environment could be tricky. In this picture, the horses are in a pond. In fact, you can see the water drops, but there are also many trees in the background that shows where the horses live. In the picture, I used the second line of the rule of thirds to put the horses, but I made a mistake cutting the most left horse. Should be better having it whole. Of course, I might crop the image, but I'd have lost the interaction of the horse with its closer mate, so I prefer to keep it in the picture. Trick number 5. Blur the background. What composition can I use? I think the best option is staying low, close to the ground when it's possible. But as I said, it's not mandatory. In this picture, I was at the same level of the kingfisher, maybe a little lower, so I had the sky in the background with no effort. Instead of this one, where the background is quite a lot chaotic. Okay guys, I think it's all for this video. I hope being useful in some way. I'm curious to know your opinion, of course. So please tell me what you think about this topic and what you do in situations like that. Well folks, if you like this video, consider to give me a like, as well as to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to allow the notification bell. So thanks again, see you real soon, bye bye.